Right now, a silent assassin sits on your nightstand. You invited it in, and it is quietly murdering the person you were destined to become. Before you trade your one irreplaceable life for the cold blue glow of a screen, you absolutely must hear how this story ends. There is a silent, ruthless assassin living inside your bedroom, and it is slowly killing the person you were destined to become. It does not break through your window in the dead of night. You willingly invite it in, place it on your nightstand, and allow it to quietly steal your future while you sleep. You know exactly what it is, yet you are utterly powerless against it. Luvuong Travelk 05 warmly welcomes you to an uncomfortable look into the darkest, most agonizing corners of our modern existence. If the heavy, suffocating weight of unfulfilled potential has ever kept you awake at night, I urge you to hit that subscribe button right now. Your support gives this channel the lifeblood it needs to keep creating these deeply personal videos, and trust me, you will absolutely need to hear how this story ends. Imagine the scene. The room is entirely submerged in an oppressive, heavy darkness. It is exactly 6 a.m. Without warning, the fragile silence is violently ripped apart by the shrill, unapologetic scream of your smartphone alarm. This was supposed to be the glorious sound of a new beginning, the trumpets calling you to a day of conquest where you finally execute those magnificent plans you swore to uphold just hours ago. But what actually happens in that freezing, vulnerable moment? Your eyes remain squeezed shut. Your arm blindly reaches out through the cold air. Muscle memory, heavily trained in the relentless art of defeat, takes over entirely. You feel the smooth glass screen, you swipe, and you hit snooze. You surrender. How many countless times have we stood before the bathroom mirror at night, staring into our own tired eyes with a fierce, almost aggressive conviction, swearing to ourselves that tomorrow will be entirely different. Tomorrow we will wake up before the sun, tomorrow we will sweat, tomorrow we will build. Yet, the instant dawn breaks, that fierce nighttime warrior evaporates into thin air, replaced by a frail, desperately exhausted version of ourselves begging for just 5 more minutes of oblivion. And then, there is the devastating other side of this cinematic tragedy, the infamous 2 a.m. doomscroll. The room is pitch black, illuminated only by the cold, ghostly blue glow of the screen washing over your hollow face. You are utterly paralyzed in a digital trance, your thumbs swiping mechanically through an endless, meaningless stream of other people's lives. You watch an exotic street food tour in a city you will never visit, instantly followed by a cat tumbling off a couch, and then a 20-second clip of a billionaire shouting hollow success advice. Swipe. 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 Beneath that hypnotic numbness lies a heavy, agonizing sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach. It is a profound, suffocating sense of guilt and quiet torment. In that cold blue light, you realize with painful clarity that yet another irreplaceable day of your one wild and precious life has just slipped completely through your fingers, entirely wasted. That crushing realization of wasted time in the dead of night is not a signal to despair, but rather the very alarm bell we have been desperately trying to muffle. The tragic irony of our condition is that we have become master architects of our own stagnation, building intricate, beautifully articulated rationalizations to justify exactly why we cannot act today. We have fallen victim to the most seductive, widespread lie of the modern era, the absolute myth of motivation. You lie there in the dark, convincing yourself that you just need to wait for the right feeling, the perfect surge of inspiration, or that magical, elusive morning where you will naturally wake up overflowing with relentless drive. But I am telling you right now, as someone who has bled on that exact same battlefield, that motivation is a fickle, unreliable traitor. It only shows up when things are easy, when the sun is shining, and when you have had 8 perfect hours of rest. The moment the air gets cold, the moment the work becomes tedious, motivation vanishes into the shadows, leaving you entirely defenseless against the heavy gravity of your own comfort zone. We have equated comfort with happiness, fundamentally failing to realize that endless comfort is actually a velvet-lined coffin for the human spirit. Every single time you tell yourself that you will start tomorrow, you are not making a harmless scheduling adjustment, you are actively inflicting a microscopic wound on your own self-respect. You are teaching your subconscious mind that your word means absolutely nothing. This is not about a lack of information or a lack of resources, it is a profound, agonizing crisis of identity. We gorge ourselves on synthetic, unearned dopamine from our glowing screens because we are utterly terrified of the brutal friction required to produce real, meaningful accomplishment. We would much rather be comfortably numb than endure the temporary pain of growth, choosing the slow, invisible decay of our endless potential over the sharp, immediate sting of discipline. Yet, while we lie paralyzed in that velvet-lined coffin of comfort, the relentless clock of our mortality continues to tick away in the background, entirely indifferent to our hesitation. Time is the only currency in this unforgiving universe that you can never earn back, no matter how desperately you beg or how much wealth you accumulate, yet we casually throw it away into the digital void as if our supply were infinite. Look at the faces of the elderly people you pass on the quiet streets. If you look closely enough into their expressions, you will see two very distinct types of eyes. There are the eyes that gleam with the quiet, unshakable peace of a life fully consumed, and then there are the eyes clouded by the heavy, suffocating shadow of regret. That specific regret is the ultimate human nightmare, the terrifying realization at the very end of the road that you never truly met the man or woman you were capable of becoming. Right now, at this exact second, nobody is coming to save you. There is no secret cavalry riding over the hill, no magical mentor who is going to miraculously pull you out from under those warm sheets, slap the phone out of your hand, and build your dream life for you. The absolute, terrifying beauty of adulthood is the stark realization that you are entirely on your own. If you want a different reality, you have to architect it with your own bare hands, using the heavy bricks of your own exhaustion and the mortar of your own sweat. We must all eventually come to terms with a fundamental law of human nature: we must suffer from one of two pains. We can choose the pain of discipline, which weighs ounces, or we can succumb to the pain of regret, which weighs literal tons. The longer you wait for the perfect time to begin, the heavier that phantom weight becomes, pressing down on your chest until you can barely draw a breath. The ghost of your unfulfilled potential is currently sitting at the edge of your bed, weeping for the extraordinary life it was denied because you were simply too afraid to be momentarily uncomfortable. To banish that weeping ghost and permanently alter the trajectory of our fate, we must willingly step into the very fire we have spent our entire lives running away from. This is where the beautiful, brutal concept of conscious suffering enters the narrative, demanding that we finally take back absolute control of our hijacked neurochemistry. It begins with the smallest, most agonizingly difficult physical actions that require zero talent but demand absolute, raw willpower. When that alarm violently shrieks at 6 a.m., the victory is not won in the gym or at the office, the war is entirely decided in the first 3 seconds of consciousness. You must throw the blankets off your warm body as if they were literally on fire, planting your bare feet firmly on the freezing floor before your treacherous brain has a single second to formulate a comfortable excuse. You have to take that piece of smooth black glass, the parasitic device that has stolen so many precious years of your life, and lock it away in another room, deliberately forcing yourself to sit in the deafening, uncomfortable silence of your own scattered thoughts. At first, your mind will scream in pure, unadulterated agony. You will experience a literal chemical withdrawal, a deep, gnawing itch in your brain begging on its knees for just one more hit of cheap, scrolling dopamine. It will feel exactly as though you are walking through thick, waist-deep mud, where every single step is a monumental, exhausting battle against your own heavily ingrained biology. But this agonizing friction, this overwhelming, suffocating desire to quit, is precisely the crucible where a new, unbreakable identity is forged. You must learn to fall madly in love with the boredom, to actively worship the tedious repetition of hard work, because that is the exact, unglamorous location where greatness is hiding. You are literally rewiring your brain, ruthlessly tearing down old habits and building new, resilient neural pathways that associate true pleasure not with passive consumption, but with the painful, glorious act of creation. Once you endure that brutal psychological withdrawal and eventually emerge on the other side, the world begins to look fundamentally and breathtakingly different. The transformation is not announced with loud fireworks or grand, sweeping parades. It arrives in the profound, quiet moments of solitude where you suddenly realize you are no longer at war with your own mind. You look into the bathroom mirror at night, and instead of the desperate, exhausted gaze of a chronic underachiever, you meet the calm, fierce eyes of someone who finally honors their own promises. The smartphone is no longer a manipulative prison warden dictating your daily emotions. It has been completely reduced back to exactly what it was always meant to be, a mere tool, entirely submissive to your disciplined command. When the dawn breaks and the alarm sounds, there is no more hesitation, no more frantic, pathetic searching for the snooze button in the dark. You rise with the silent, lethal precision of a warrior who knows exactly what must be done, fueled by the rich, enduring dopamine of earned accomplishment rather than the cheap, synthetic rush of endless distraction. You begin to walk through your daily life with a heavy, unshakable aura of self-respect, knowing deeply that while the rest of the world is desperately searching for the next quick fix, you are quietly, relentlessly laying the heavy bricks of your legacy. This is the ultimate human redemption story, a messy, beautiful rebellion against a modern culture of mediocrity that actively profits from your weakness and distraction. The heavy iron doors of your invisible prison were actually never locked, they were only ever held tightly shut by your own deeply ingrained habits and fears. Now, the choice belongs entirely and terrifyingly to you. You can close this video, sink right back into the warm, numbing embrace of the digital abyss, and let the ghost of your potential weep for another wasted day. Or, you can put the screen down, step boldly out into the cold, demanding reality of the unknown, and finally claim the extraordinary life you were always destined to live. Ultimately, the profound tragedy of the modern human condition is that we willingly surrender our greatest asset, time, to the numbing comfort of digital distractions and the myth of motivation. We wait for a perfect tomorrow that never arrives, constructing intricate excuses to avoid the demanding friction of actual growth. However, this paralysis is not a life sentence, it is an active choice. The relentless clock of mortality does not pause for our hesitation, and every day spent in the velvet-lined coffin of comfort is a day stolen from our true potential. True transformation requires stepping willingly into the crucible of conscious suffering. It demands that we sever the chains of synthetic dopamine, endure the agonizing withdrawal of instant gratification, and force ourselves into the uncomfortable, unglamorous trenches of daily discipline. This is where an unbreakable identity is forged. By honoring the microscopic promises we make to ourselves in the first few seconds of the morning, we systematically rewire our brains to find profound meaning in the grueling process of creation rather than passive consumption. The invisible prison of mediocrity is unlocked the exact moment we stop waiting to be saved and realize that we are the sole architects of our destiny. Ultimately, we must choose our pain, the temporary, heavy ounces of daily discipline, or the crushing, lifelong tons of regret. The power to break this destructive cycle, step out of the shadows, and claim your extraordinary life has always been entirely in your own hands. Motivation is an unreliable illusion that breeds procrastination, while true freedom is born exclusively through discipline and the willingness to endure discomfort. The pursuit of endless comfort and cheap dopamine is silently destroying our potential. To build a meaningful legacy, we must embrace conscious suffering, choosing the immediate, productive pain of hard work over the silent, agonizing decay of regret. You are entirely on your own, no one is coming to save you, which means you hold the absolute power to change your reality. Win the first 3 seconds, when your alarm goes off, do not hit snooze or negotiate with your mind. Throw off the covers and stand up immediately to establish dominance over your comfort zone. Regulate your dopamine, lock your smartphone in another room during your most productive hours. Break the cycle of cheap digital stimulation and force yourself to focus on meaningful work. Embrace the tedious work, identify the one uncomfortable but necessary task you have been avoiding and execute it before doing anything else. Keep your own promises, treat your word to yourself as an unbreakable contract. Start with small, daily commitments to gradually rebuild your self-respect and forge an unbreakable identity. What is one small, uncomfortable action you are going to take today to stop waiting for tomorrow? Please share your answer and perspective in the comments section below so everyone can read and learn from each other's ideas. If you found value in this video, please hit the subscribe button to support the channel and give us the motivation to keep creating more impactful content for you.